Hey, Go Green here. Our friend Curtis has generously given us some time. He's going to talk about teapot care. Take it away, Curtis.
So these pots were both made by machine and factory produced, but care for teapots in general basically follows the same sort of pattern. If you look on the outside of this one, you can see that it's a little bit glossy, kind of shiny. Compared with this one, it's a little bit darker. This is partly because of the age of the pots and how long they've been used. This one hasn't been really well cared for in the traditional sense, but one of the things that gives it this sort of dull sheen is that it's been treated with tea while I've been using it. So after each time I use it, I cook it in the leftover tea that comes out of my strainer tray. And that tends to season the clay. Some people like to take a brush, looks like a Western shaving brush, usually very fine bristles, and they will actually spend time polishing a teapot like this. But in the beginning, what you need to think about is getting it clean of all that factory residue and shipping detritus. So what you do is wash it once really well with maybe a soap or some light cleanser. Don't use anything industrial, even if you would use it on your normal dishes, because the clay is porous and will absorb those things and keep them there for quite some time. It affects the flavor of the tea, it affects the behavior of the tea as well, and as I said, it can get in there and stay for a long time. So once you've dealt with it once with soap, probably never ever again would be the best time. But give it a really good scrubbing that first time. Get deep inside. If you have anything that sticks out in terms of a strainer shape or anything like that by the spigot, you want to get that as clean as you possibly can. Of course, pay attention to the area inside the lid, under the lip, and so on. And as I say, once in its life should be enough for this, unless something really tragic happens to it, like it ends up in a cupboard for years and years, or somebody's garage, lots of car fumes, that sort of thing. What you'll do with it after you give it one good washing is boil it, basically, to get any of the residue that you've just washed it with, get all of that stuff out, open all of the pores up, and get all of the remaining nooks and crannies clean. Then let it dry, but take it out as hot as you can and let it dry like that, so that all the remaining liquid evaporates as much as possible out of the pores and out of the surface of the pot. Then when you are done using the pot thereafter, either you can use the leaves that you've been making inside the pot, or you can use the runoff liquid from your tea making process and fill it to above the height of the pot. Make sure that the inside is full, make sure that the outside is completely covered, and that the lid gets equal attention. You can, if you like, close it, fill it higher than that, and then soak and boil it in those leaves. Somewhere between half an hour and an hour is usually enough to get it started. The process is similar to seasoning a cast iron pan or a wok, where you get it really hot, fill it with that first layer of oil, and then allow it to work its way inside, then never obviously taking that seasoning away. The tea seasoning happens the same way. I recommend a clay pot for this, because this is what I was told, that clay and metal interact with the tea itself. So if you use a clay pot with the tea liquid and the teapot, it all works together in a much more harmonious way. Ideally, again, you want to give it some time, half an hour to an hour of this kind of boiling. Keep topping it off with just fresh water if it starts running out, and then just let it sit until the water is cool enough for you to handle the pot again. Then you can scoop out any of the leftover leaves, let it dry, and use it at your leisure thereafter. Teapot care.